Hello boys and girls, I want to make a video. This is really for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade because you are the grade levels that use Google Drive. And by now you probably need to do a little bit of housekeeping on your Google Drive. So what happens is every time you open a file, like I say new, and maybe I go to Google Docs and I click it, I have a new file here with nothing on it, labeled untitled document, and here in a minute, as soon as I type something like the letter G, notice what happens here, it's saving. So this is now a file, even though it may be something I don't want. So even if I close it, it now is in my my drive. If I go to recent, you'll see it right here, untitled document. It was just open, and if I open it, there's my G I just typed there. So, you know, obviously some of that stuff can be deleted. So you might say, well, how do I delete that? Well, if you right click it, you can remove it right here. So remove it. Just be careful you don't remove something that you don't want to, because once it's gone, you only have the trash bin here will have stuff that you got rid of, but you know, I think it will self-delete after a certain time. I'm not sure on that, but I think it will. So how can we organize things? I have a lot of stuff in my drive, and you can see the storage here is 12.3 gigabytes is what I have in. You should have much less than that, because I don't think anyone has nearly as much stuff as I do. But you do want to organize it. You'll notice if I go in my drive that I have folders. You know, I have folders here to keep track of things that I am doing. So that way I can find things that I'm looking for, you know. So you guys notice, like, when I have things that are starred, so those are like things I go into all the time, like for specials, all the different days of specials, and that's how I take attendance. So you've seen me do that in here. So how do you do it? Go to Drive, and you can go to New, and you're going to say, the very first one is folder. Make a folder. You're going to make a folder. Say, what do you want to name the folder? I'm going to title this temporary files. Oops, I don't know what capital X went off here. Temporary files. Can't seem to spell here. Temporary files. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to create it. It's going to make that folder. It's going to be right in my drive, right there. Okay. I can right click on it. I can change the color to something if I want. Don't have to, but I could do that. And now what I can do is I can start putting things in that folder. Okay. So let's just take this file right here. This is one we did in class. It was just we're using templates with Google Docs. Let me just open this for a minute and show you. So this was one that was, you know, I just started to type over the template, but I don't really need this file, but I'll go ahead and show you how to move it. I really should delete it, but that's what happens when I go class after class. A lot of my stuff gets just, I need to go through and do housekeeping like I'm telling you to do as well. So how do I move this to there? Well, if I right click on my file here, and you see what says move to, say move to, and then you'll see my drive is here. So if I go my drive, and what did I call the file? I called it temporary files. So I'm going to go down and find it. Right there, click it, and then I'm not sure why let me go here. Okay, now it's going to say move here. The folder's empty because I haven't put anything in there yet, and I'm going to move here. And move means it's not going to be here anymore. It's moved. It's taken from this location to the folder location, and so on. So now in my temporary folder, there's my letter. But like I said, really, I don't need this. I should really delete it. So I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to remove it, all right, like that. So, so that's one way to do things. You delete them if you don't need them, obviously. The other thing that a lot of times you guys will do when you open a file that you are maybe doing in docs, you don't name it. And so what happens is everything ends up with the same title, untitled document. If you're trying to find something, that makes it very difficult. So one of the things you should get in the habit of is typing in a name, something that you will recognize and remember. Now, if you don't do that, then you can search. And this is real handy, especially when you get a lot of files in your drive. Click up here and search drive. One of the things that I've done with you guys was the single sign-on. In the beginning of the year, we had to figure out how to get ourselves in. So I made a document in SSO, if I type in SSO. So I've got login instructions and getting started. I think one of those I made, and one of them is from somewhere else. So let's try getting started. And there you go. So that's the one that tells you how to get on your single sign-on, right? We've done that before. So if I'm going to print that file, that's where I go to find it. I think I know where it's at, but it's just easier to do the search function here to find it that way. If I was looking for something that had the name Foley in it, obviously a lot of my stuff has Foley in it. You'll see a lot of stuff here that comes up. So that's that. Okay. What else? Recent. If you've opened something recently, that's a good place to go for stuff. If you've opened it recently, it will be here. And then also, if you have something that you want to access a lot, a file that you might want to access a lot, like this one here that I just had open. Okay, let me open it here and I'm going to show you. I think I have to close. Oh no, here. See the star right here? See this star that is not, it's empty star? If I click it, it becomes a full star. And now I'm going to close the tab. What happens is now if I ever go to my starred category here, it's right there. See it right there? So that's kind of handy too, But I guess my main point of this video was I've noticed that now that we've been using this for over half a year now, a lot of it's getting cluttered. So you got to go into your drive, go through those files you don't want, delete the ones you don't want, maybe rename some of them if you don't have names listed, and that way, because as you use this, especially, it doesn't really matter, okay, but if you're 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you're going to use it next year, and the following year, and the year after that, and after a couple of years, you can really get a mess of stuff in there, and if you don't keep on top of it right now, you might just get lost trying to find stuff. So it's nice to create stuff. It's nice to be able to bring it back up later when you think about it or you want to open it. So make sure you keep things in order. If you have any questions, ask me in class. But get in there and start to kind of make sense of it. Think of it like a file cabinet. The drawer you open is the file cabinet. Of the file cabinet is a category, and then each file inside is a subcategory, and then your files go in there. So your folders should be something set up like that, something that makes sense to you that you'll remember. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Take care of doing your housekeeping, and we'll put a video up here again soon. Have a good